The twin suns of Aridath dipped low over the jagged crystal ridges, painting the alien horizon in gold and violet. Rynah leaned back on her elbows, her long silver hair catching the dying light. She watched the human boy, Kael, struggle to adjust the oversized grave rifle slung over his shoulder. "You hold it like that, you'll blast your own feet off," she teased, her voice carrying the faint melodic lilt of her people. Kael shot her a glare. "You tried carrying 50 pounds of alien metal on one shoulder. Not exactly ergonomic." "You asked to come with me," she reminded him, standing and brushing the pale dust from her black armor-weave trousers. "And besides, we're only here for the view." But she wasn't telling the whole truth. The crystalline plateau they stood upon was a sacred place to her clan, and somewhere within the labyrinth of glass-like spires below lay the vault where her ancestors' battle armor had rested for centuries, worn only by the warlord Seraph during the final uprising. Kael kicked at a shard of violet crystal. "You always have a hidden reason for these little trips." Her golden eyes glinted. "Maybe I do. Maybe I don't." The joke that wasn't. They made camp in a shallow crevice shielded from the wind. Rynah lit a small plasma lantern, casting blue shadows on the rock walls. From her pack, she pulled a seal case. Kael's eyebrows rose. "That looks suspiciously like treasure." "It's a relic," she corrected, kneeling and opening the case. Inside lay a set of armor, sleek, black as obsidian, trimmed in faintly glowing silver filigree. The breastplate bore the sigil of a serpent coiled around a star. Kael whistled low. "That's beautiful." "My ancestors," she said. "Only those of my bloodline are meant to wear it." Her smile turned playful. "Want to try it on?" He laughed. "Right. And break some 1,000-year-old family lore." "It's not lore anymore. Just superstition. Humor me." He hesitated. She clearly meant it as a joke, a human fumbling around in legendary alien battle gear. But curiosity tugged harder than caution. He slipped the breastplate over his head. The moment it settled against him, the silver trim flared bright, bathing the cavern in light. Kael froze. Is it supposed to do that?" Rynah's playful expression faltered. "No, that's impossible." The awakening. The armor clamped snugly to his form, reshaping as if alive, sealing along his arms and legs until he stood fully encased. He felt a strange hum beneath his skin, like his own heartbeat had synced with something far older. "Rynah, I can feel it. It's speaking to me." She stepped closer, her eyes wide. "Armor of the serpent only respond to blood heirs. That means I'm not one of your people." "Not exactly," she murmured, scanning his face. "But maybe you're connected in ways neither of us knew." Before they could process more, the ground beneath them shuddered. A low, resonant thrum echoed through the crystal spires outside. Rynah grabbed her rifle. "We need to go. Now." The hunters arrive. Outside, shadows move between the crystal columns, slender figures in segmented armor, their weapons pulsing with blue light. "Sithar Raiders," Rynah hissed. "They must have tracked me." Kael's voice was steady, but his eyes darted. "How many?" "Too many. They'll kill us both if they get that armor." As the raiders close in, Kael instinctively raised his hand, and a wave of shimmering force burst outward, slamming 3 of them into the crystal walls. Both he and Rynah froze. You just use kinetic force projection," she said slowly. "Without a device." "I didn't even know what I was doing." The armor's glowing lines brightened again, almost urging him forward, running through the crystal forest. They bolted between jagged spires, each step echoing. The Sithar shouted commands, plasma fire slicing through the air. The armor seemed to guide Kael, shifting his balance, making his movement sharper, faster. A bolt grazed Rynah aside, and she stumbled. Kael caught her before she fell. "Keep moving," he shouted, half-dragging her into a narrow fissure. Inside the dark crevice, Rynah clutched her ribs. You shouldn't be able to move like that. The armor is amplifying you. It's choosing you. He shook his head. Why? I'm just some kid from Earth who got lost on the wrong freighter. Maybe not just. There's a story in my clan, she whispered, about a human warrior who fought alongside Seraph. They called him the Shadow Blood. His descendants vanished until now. The Crystal Bridge. They emerged onto a natural bridge of transparent crystal spanning a deep chasm. The Raiders were already in pursuit. Kael turned. Go. I'll hold them off. You'll die. Not if this armor keeps doing whatever it's doing. He planted his feet. The first Raider leapt onto the bridge, blade raised. Without thinking, Kael swept his arm in an arc. A crescent of pure energy exploded outward, shattering the bridge under the Raiders' feet. They fell screaming into the abyss below. The shock left him panting, but the armor's hum steadied his breath. Rynah stepped forward, her eyes shining. You're meant for this. Into the vault. They reached the ancient vault hidden in the crystal cliffs. The massive door recognized the armor's signature and groaned open. Inside, the walls were etched with glowing runes. A great mural depicted Seraph and a human warrior standing side by side, fighting a tide of shadowy beasts. Kael stared. The human in the mural had his face. This can't be real, he whispered. It is, Rynah said softly. You're his blood. Before he could reply, a deep rumble shook the chamber. The last of the Sithar had found them, their leader stepping into the light, a towering figure with a jagged black spear. The final stand. The Sithar leader's voice was like grinding stone. The serpent's armor belongs to the Sithar now. Kael felt the armor tighten around him, as if bracing for battle. Rynah raised her rifle, but he stepped forward. No, it belongs to me. The leader lunged. Time seemed to slow. Kael could see every twitch, every ripple of movement. He sidestepped, the armor's gauntlet morphing into a blade that met the spear in a flash of light. They traded blows, the clash echoing through the vault. The armor whispered tactics in his mind, showing him openings. Finally, Kael caught the spear, wrenched it aside, and drove his gauntlet blade into the Sithar's chest. The leader crumpled. The others fled. The choice. Silence fell. The runes along the vault walls glowed brighter, almost in approval. Rynah touched his shoulder. You could keep it. The armor's yours now. Kael looked down at his hands. If I do, I can't go back to who I was. You never could, she said. He thought of Earth, of the life he'd left behind, and of the strange pull he felt here. Then I'll stay. If my ancestor fought to protect this world, maybe it's my turn. Epilogue. Days later, Kael and Rynah stood atop the crystal plateau again. The sun's rising over the horizon. You wear it well, she said. I'm still figuring it out, he replied. But I think it's figuring me out too. Far in the distance, dark clouds gathered, signs of another war brewing. Rynah smiled faintly. Then I guess we'll have more than enough trouble to keep you busy, Shadowblood. And as the first rays of sunlight struck the armor, it shone like a living thing, ready for whatever came next.